Danny on the beat, boy.
Alright, what it do, everybody? It's episode 22. It's your boy LOG from Where There's Smoke. We got a special guest in the building.
What up?
We got your boy Tyler here back again for his second, I believe, second appearance.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we just, a lot of the episodes lately have been less planned and just more impromptu, but I don't know. I think they've been going just as well. There's game 7 tonight of the finals, so we
Game
definitely
2.
wanted. Oh,
Yeah.
game 2 of the finals, yeah. So we wanted to kind of give our thoughts on that and kind of just talk about game 1 and just kind of talk our shit about that. And then we might get into a little talk about Trump and the trial briefly. And then I think we had one more thing we were to get into, but just kind of keep it light. But you're a big Dallas fan. How long have you been a fan of the Mavericks? Since before 11, right?
Yeah, probably like, maybe 08, 09,
Okay.
as early as that. Yeah.
Nice.
So I was definitely, a big fan watching whenever they won in 2011. It was a great summer.
Okay,
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
you were loving that, right?
Oh yeah, I was probably like, I guess 15 at that time. Yeah. So it was awesome.
What did you think about Jason Kidd on that run? Was he pretty good?
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I was definitely, past prime kid, but he still got it done.
Hmm.
They won the championship. Obviously, good old Dirk, Jason Kidd, Tyson Chandler, JJ Barea. I know that's TJ's favorite.
Oh yeah.
Jason Terry, Jet. So I mean,
He was pretty good.
It was a good team, man. It was a good team. I think judging from game 1 with the Mavericks, this year, I think they got to play better team basketball going forward in the rest of the series to do anything. I mean, Luke and Kyrie are who they are, and they can do what they can do. But, like we were talking about earlier, they need to throw more lobs up and stuff like that. Just more team basketball because the Celtics, man, they outplayed them.
Yeah.
They just came out with more energy and, yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. I know, I watched the game. Everyone's talking about Porzingis, but he came out and, he was hitting shots. He was good on defense. And yeah.
Nah, big Porzingo, man. He's dangerous.
It's crazy because he
Yeah.
hasn't played in a month, so I don't know if that helped him or hurt him. I guess it didn't hurt him any.
It didn't seem to hurt him too much.
Yeah.
Shit, but no, he's a big factor. Obviously, you got, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Al Horford. I mean, they got pretty stacked squad over there too.
Yeah. It's good. The Mavericks, they probably have more chances to win after this, as do the Celtics, but you hate to see one slip, a championship slip away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an interesting rest of the series for sure.
Yeah, I feel like at this point, I don't know, anybody can win any game. You feel like it can go any way, but after I think 2 or 3, we'll get a lot better idea.
Right.
I don't know that. I feel like I'm gonna say a lot of the things everyone's saying because it's obvious shit that happened, but there was a lot less lobs in this game. There was one where Luka threw up one where it almost looked like he missed a shot, or he intended for it to be a lob, but he bailed out at the very last second. I believe Gafford got a dunk.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think there was much. That was huge on their run in the playoffs. I didn't watch them in the regular season, but in the playoffs, they were lob city
man.
pretty much.
Yeah. And pretty much every series, like you
yeah.
said, yeah. It's just great team basketball.
And then Luka's been playing pretty good, or he's been playing defense.
Him and Kyrie both have upped it on the defensive side a little bit. You can tell they put forth a decent effort.
I just wonder if at some point, I feel like the Celtics are probably, I don't know. Everyone wants to say they're the better team, and I guess they are a little bit, but I just wonder at some point if just the team chemistry is going to come into play. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean, and they have great team chemistry.
I don't know if they do between Jason Tatum and Brown.
You don't think so?
I don't know. I haven't watched them enough.
They look pretty fluid to me.
Yeah.
Derek White, man, he's a sleeper too.
He's good.
He's real
yeah.
good.
Yeah. That was a good pickup for
Yes,
them.
it was. And
I knew he was
Horford,
good
man.
from watching him years on the Spurs.
Oh man, for sure. Yeah.
Horford's back. He was with them, and then he left, and now he's back.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's a good, solid role player. I really feel like with their team, they're one good big away from being a really good championship team, and that's Porzingis basically.
Yeah.
And they don't need him offensively, but they just need a big defensively, and that's what he does.
He can do that. Yeah.
Yeah. He's not you don't think of him typical defender, like primary, but like when he comes in as a secondary defender on the guards, he's a fucking tree.
Yeah.
I mean, when he puts his arms up, how much higher do they go to the rim? That's like crazy intimidating when you're trying to, because then that person can also still jump. So you're like, okay, his arms already go above the rim, so I can float a basket over that, but then he can also jump. So if you're already trying to, like, if someone's guarding you and you beat them off the dribble, or if they're still in pursuit and you're still kind of worrying about them a little bit, and then he's jumping straight vertical, basically he doesn't have to body you up.
Right.
You're already getting bodied more or less by someone else.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to worry about bodying you up or you putting your body into him to getting some space. He can just clean jump straight up. And that's what I think happened a lot in game one. So yeah, it was good to see, but I'm eager for game two for sure.
It's gonna be a good one tonight, yeah.
Yeah, we're recording this about 3:40, so the games are probably about 3 hours or so. The episode will probably come out like tomorrow. But yeah, it'll be eager to see. I'm eager to see what happens. Luka's listed as like questionable. I think he's got like several nagging injuries. I think he'll still play, but I don't know. He's supposed to have been like a little injured the whole time, but it really hasn't seemed to affect him really that much.
Yeah.
So
there's a couple things with his ankle, on and off, and then we were reading earlier that he went from being listed as probable to questionable, and then they were saying at the shoot around practice earlier today he was like holding his ribs a little bit. So I don't know. We'll see. But I mean, like you said, he tends to power through and play through whatever's he's got going on anyway. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Think if there's anything else good to say about it.
I mean, definitely, for the Mavericks to get a win, both of them do have to show up, Luka and Kyrie, but it's got to be also like a team effort. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So good stuff from the bigs, good stuff off the bench.
Usually, someone has pitched in some other fashion when they have Jones Jr. or Gafford, Washington, Lively.
Yeah.
Someone usually is coming through with a few extra points. But yeah, Kyrie has been the one that you'd like to see a little more here and there. But yeah, hopefully they can get it done. I feel like, for the Mavs, they need the 2 stars that come through, and they need 1 or 2 other guys to kind of do a little something. Whereas the Celtics, they have so many weapons, somebody's going to do something.
Oh, a few of them are going to do something, just regardless.
Yeah, you really have to explode and then hope maybe the Celtics make a few mistakes. Because Jason Tatum, if it's close, sometimes he gets a little... He thinks Kobe's going to come out and he fucking loses it or something. So he is incredible, but I feel like, I don't want to say he's not clutch or is clutch or whatever. I think he's really good, but I don't think he has a clutch gene necessarily. So, but sometimes he thinks he does, and sometimes maybe that could backfire.
Throw him off,
but not a lot, but I've seen that happen a little bit. So
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Kyrie has had that happen to him too, though, I believe recently, where he feels like nothing can ever go wrong. And the other day he like dribbled the ball off his shoe. So anyway, it's just interesting to see a little tit for tats, and we'll see. The first game was a blowout, but I would be real surprised if this one is a blowout.
Yeah, no, I expect the rest of the series to at least be competitive, close.
Yeah, so do I. Sure. So I think at some point it'll be interesting. This probably happens if the series is more competitive and like gets to the 6, 5, 6, 7 really, if you get to game 5 and it's tied, and then you get to 6 and 7 and it's competitive game wise, the coaching really starts to...
Yeah.
Because in the first games, Porzingis just owned game 1. Jason Kidd coaching probably wasn't going to win or lose the game. But in these other games where it's down the stretch and it's 1 or 2 points here, ticky-tack foul here, this, there, the coaching really starts to come in and like...
Calling your timeouts on the right times, having good rotations. Yeah.
There's always like 1 or 2 plays where it's like the right time to call a timeout. You can like feel it when the momentum's shifting.
Yes.
And you're like, you should call it here. And then they don't do it. And then the other team really starts to go.
They grab onto it and just run with that. Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting to watch that as well.
Like Nick always says, man, it's a game of runs,
It is. It's crazy.
There's a lot of momentum, and how it shifts and you can stop it and everything.
What I've noticed too about the beginning of a basketball game, there's something in your head about you could jump out to a 10-0 run, and later on in the game, if you're tied at 70 and you go on a 10-0 run and it's 70-80, you're like, oh fuck yeah. Especially not in the playoffs.
Yeah.
If that happens in the regular season, it's a wrap.
I see what you're saying.
But in the playoffs, it's a little more competitive. That's not as secure. But if you start off and it's 0-0 and you go out 0-10, I have seen so many times, or even 0, like 2 or 3 to like 15 or 18. they get real excited. The other team almost always comes back.
Yes, yes.
It's something about the very beginning of the game. Those points almost don't seem to mean as much.
I see what you're
Because
saying.
it's almost like this thing where once the team that's behind and only has scored 1 or 2 baskets, it's like they're all pros. They all practice every day and make it every
Right.
day. It's like once it's like this weird human psychology thing where like once they get to a certain point and they start scoring, it's almost like they know they're gonna score. So
I was just gonna say
they're never gonna get to where it's 50-3. At some point they start scoring too, and then it becomes a game of like
they anticipate it back and forth.
it's like the tug of the game takes over. It's a weird thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that so many times when I've been watching basketball recently, and like I think it's something I just noticed where like, yeah, it's almost like they jump out to this big 10 or 15-point lead, and then before long it's a lead of like only 5.
Yeah.
And it's like no different if they had only been behind 5 the whole time.
Yeah.
But it's like a human psychology thing.
Yeah.
The people that are behind start playing like harder.
It's in your
and
mind.
It's
yeah.
weird. And some of it is like bench players come in and
Sure. No,
But-
there's a lot of variables to it.
yeah. But I've noticed that like it's teams never score less than 50 in the NBA. So there's like it's almost like we got off to a slow start, but like they know in their mind it's gonna come. It's like a
Right.
weird. I'm probably missing elements to it and not describing it well, but you kind of have, you know what I'm talking
But
about.
yeah,
Like,
no, I do.
So I don't know. With that being said, kind of going with what we were saying earlier, I don't think there's gonna be like huge blowouts like
No.
there was not. And even this is not at the beginning of the game like I was talking about, but the Mavs did, which like I said, it's harder later in the game. The Celtics went on a big run later or in the middle of the game, and the Mavs brought it back to within like 8.
Like an
So-
8-point game from 29.
Yeah. So that was. I feel like that's easier to do in the very, very beginning of the game, but they did it later in
Sure.
the game, which is a good sign. So they and someone else had pointed it out. They stayed competitive,
Yeah.
even when they
Oh
were
no, they
down.
did for sure.
So that's
You
a
could
good
tell,
sign.
which was good. Yeah, they definitely didn't give up or,
I
lose
feel
any
like,
faith or hope.
Yeah, Lively is good. Like has a good energy and like doesn't get down. And then like Washington also is like good.
Yeah.
Like kind of positive. Like doesn't really get down. like,
Very.
when things aren't going their way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm really interested to see game 2 and the
It's
rest.
gonna be a good one.
Yeah, and I've really enjoyed these playoffs because without LeBron or Curry, and this is like fandom over fact, but like with them in it, you feel like, or without them in it, should I say, you feel like everyone else has more of a chance, and it's just an even playing
Right.
field.
It just takes the spotlight off of who it's on
The biggest stars.
already, anyways. Yeah, LeBron and Curry. So
Somebody's gonna win their first
yeah,
chip this year.
for sure. I mean, that's fun. It's good for the league to not always just see the same teams,
Same
same
place.
superstars in the same situations. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, no, it's good. It's really good.
Yeah, I guess this is kind of like looking back or however you would want to say it, but like, how many years has Doncic been with the Mavericks? Probably.
I think this is his 6th year. I think.
And how has that been for a fan? Like, have you seen, like, what's the biggest change, or like, what's the biggest like? Give us something about Luka, like that surprised you the most, or like the biggest change.
Well, honestly, I mean, it was a great change, like seamlessly going from
Dirk
Dirk
to
to Luka. I mean, you can't be any luckier, more blessed as a fan. But I mean, just watching his game grow. I mean, everyone knew whenever he first got in the league how special he was.
What's improved the most, I guess, then since
the most, man.
or maybe just kind of growing all
I
around.
mean, his
and-
defense all around
Really
he grows. Yeah,
defense.
but I mean, he's actually playing defense now, and making some impact on the court. But I mean, he's always just had those crazy moves in his bag. You know what I mean? He takes
Yeah.
the game at his own pace. He makes crazy shots. I mean,
Yeah, I think he's just gotten a little better in every area.
yeah,
and-
pretty much just drastically gotten even better from where he was already good,
yeah.
and just keeps stacking it. And I mean,
I think if
yeah.
his 3-point shooting could be even better, he would be like retarded. Man,
oh,
it's already
man,
pretty.
It's
damn
already
good.
pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
He pulls up from so deep, dude. It's not even
Yeah.
halfway funny.
Yeah. So, anything else you were thinking of about the finals?
No, that's about it. Just ready to see how the rest of it plays out. Yeah, I'm excited.
I feel like the music this is like a really side note, but I feel like the music they used to play back in the day for the finals was like better. Like the hip hop, they always used to have like, I vividly remember back in the day watching like the Spurs and the Pistons, I think. And like they had the Black Eyed Peas song.
Okay.
And like back then that was
Yeah.
like a pretty popular song.
Right.
And like now they play some alright stuff, but I'm just like that. Like, and then there was another finals where they had that Lupe Fiasco, if you are what you say.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember
They had
that.
a couple of songs that like would go with the finals, and they would play them like every time it would come on, and it like it made the finals for that year. Like kind of went with that finals that year.
The theme and everything.
Yeah, and it was like
I
kind
know
of
what you
dope. And
mean.
now they just don't really do that shit anymore.
There's nothing really notable. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Y'all suck.
Nothing really stands out like it used to. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't really go for like making moments or stuff anymore as much.
I know, yeah. No,
Everything's
you're
just like
definitely
a
right.
footnote of a who cares.
You're right though, because I mean, there used to be a certain theme that like anthem that would just set it off, and that would be like associated with like that finals in that year. And
You used to only fuck your wife. Now you just coming in your side, bitch. Nah, yeah. Well, another thing I think we kind of want to talk about. I have not done like any research, but just kind of like give our brief thoughts on it, I guess, and just like the whole. Maybe like I've talked about it a bit, maybe, but like the energy around Trump and like the trial and the election, and like I think a lot of people are just like overall kind of tired of it in general. They have like fatigue, like political fatigue.
yeah,
And I think I said it, maybe not, but I'll just say it again. Get your thoughts on it. Like I think a lot of people are just gonna vote for Trump. Like I think a lot of people are gonna vote for Trump foremost off of the economy alone. But I think a lot of people also are gonna kind of vote for him as just like a fu to like the system, because like he got convicted guilty, and I feel like he's only gaining off of that. Like no one's gonna not vote for him because of that, and then certain people are like, oh, like the system's so terrible, I'm just gonna vote for him because it's like a fu to the system.
yeah. Now, like you said, I mean, if anything, it's only going to make people vote for him more. No one's going to vote for him any less.
Here's the thing: did he actually, in the end, even sleep with Stormy Daniels? I don't think he did.
That's a good.
It's crooked.
I don't know, but I mean, it's all hush money related stuff. So it'll be interesting also to see how that plays out. But I mean, yeah, it only brings more hype, more
Yeah.
more like awareness to him running for president and the popularity, all that stuff. So
Yeah. It's crooked.
it's all very crooked. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, there's not much to say about it. It's just
I could see that though, like what you were saying about how it would get more people to vote like for him just as a FU to the system. A lot of people would see it like that. So
yeah. I think a lot of people are kind of done with the system, but they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
They're like tired of it, done
can
with
see
it, but
that.
they just kind of like, what am I gonna do anyway?
yeah.
I was talking to Donnie. He was guest on like episode 6 or 7 if y'all want to check that out. But he was saying that like he ran for office one time in Kyle, and like out of 60,000 people, like 400 people voted total in his election.
Wow.
So that's like his point is always that like no one votes. So think about if double the amount voted, or even like, because that's like less than like 10% or like it's like a crazy number.
Yeah.
Out of like 60,000, 400
That's
voted, like
nothing.
crazy number. 10% I guess would be 4,000. So it's like 1% not even voted. It's a crazy.
That's bad.
That's something to think about.
For local stuff too, especially.
That's for local, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, that's where the stuff starts and really changes.
That's where a lot of stuff matters.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard from a couple of OGs too. That's what my PO officer said back in the day, because we had discussions about voting and stuff, and that's what he would say. Like, vote local is important.
Yeah.
So maybe there is something to that.
I'm not hating on that at all.
Yeah. Other than that, I really don't have a lot to say. I really, really think people are tired of this, just in general, and
Just politics.
yeah. I think if there was a decent candidate, which
Yeah.
why isn't there one? That just kind of goes into the whole thing. But like, if there was a
Right.
decent young candidate, I think everyone would vote for them.
Sure.
But it's just kind of like, it makes me curious. Like, if we're all this done with it and all this tired of it, like, what's gonna happen next? But I guess time will tell, obviously. But it's interesting times that everyone's done with it, but we don't know. Usually when you're done with something, you throw it in the trash. But
Yeah. Just keeps dragging on.
yeah, it keeps dragging on because it's a vital part of our lives
Unfortunately.
on some level, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll see. It's like a channel we both watch, Pockets of the Future. Paul always says like there's no saving the system.
Right.
I think even my dad recently said that, which I was surprised to hear. Like there's no saving it. So I think a lot of people are starting to get to that point. So we'll see with that attitude, because like, if everyone starts to get that attitude, that's going to influence actions, and then that's gonna have some effect. I don't know what it is yet, but it'll be interesting to see what that is. So I guess I don't really have anything else to say about that at this point. We'll kind of see what happens. I think it's kind of cheesy too that like this Trump thing came out. 34 convictions. We did do a quick Google search before this. 34 convictions of what was it? Business fraud.
Yeah, pretty much just about the hush money.
Why is it so hard for us to get specific names of crimes that he fucking committed? Like it's this nonsense.
Well, I mean, you know, of course, obviously, it's a convenient time for all that stuff to come out too, right? I mean,
it seems to me for someone that doesn't care, like political assassination, like all this stuff now, you know, like I don't know. And he's said that time and time again.
Oh, sure.
It seems like a huge just play.
Yeah.
They're just like, it's like, I don't know if you said this or someone else said this, but it's just like they force you back and forth to each candidate. Like it's
yeah.
so bad. It's so bad.
I mean, it's obvious. It's political theater, you know. I mean,
yeah. The last kind of thing I had was a show that we both like, Big Brother.
Yeah.
Is coming up July 17th.
If you want to get your fix for some good old greasy reality TV,
oh yeah,
definitely tune in. I'm sure if you haven't watched it, shit, your mama, your grandma, your aunties, your cousins, you know, somebody you know has watched Big Brother. It's good. Like I said, you know, just as far as greasy reality TV goes.
Yeah, I put out a video a couple of days ago. I was telling the people that like my grandma got me into it.
Okay.
Back in the day.
Yeah. Nice.
And I was saying I'm gonna try to go live for most episodes that I'm available.
Hell yeah.
You and Weston are of course welcome to come through.
Yeah.
And
that'd be dope.
I'm just gonna just pretty much give my live reactions.
Yeah.
And then I was saying like anyone that's a fan of the channel or whatever or happens to catch it will, like, even if they don't catch it right at the time, if they start figuring out we're doing it during commercial break or whatever, they can like
tune in.
They can go they can go back to our live stream and go back 3 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever and see what we said. That way they can like watch the show and not miss it, and then
okay,
still see what our reactions
That's a good one. Yeah.
I think it'd be a dope thing, and I think there are people that cover Big Brother. I think there's probably at least 4 or 5 pretty prominent channels that do it that I'm aware of. There's probably more, but I'm aware of right now, I don't think anyone goes live to do any kind of coverage. So I think that would be dope. Experiment, and we potentially could get some new fans because I know Big Brother.
Yeah, for sure.
It's dying down now, but they probably still have a decent viewership.
Yeah, just put some good hashtags, get the video going, the algorithm, and get some people to watch. I mean,
yeah,
for sure.
And I was saying I enjoy the first half of Big Brother the most.
Oh yeah,
because
when everyone's kind of just first feeling it out and forming alliances and stuff like that. For anybody who doesn't really know, basically my breakdown of Big Brother as a show would be, they take like 16, random people that also just happen to fit certain, character archetypes. They'll have like a few jock guys in there, feel like, nerdy people, some older people, some younger people, people of all different, races, shapes, whatever, colors, ages. And they put them into this, big, pretty nice house. And there's cameras and microphones like everywhere you look, like literally everywhere. You're wearing one, cameras and mics in every corner. They record everything, and the 16 house guests compete for like, $1 million prize or whatever it is that year. And so from the beginning, they start, linking up, forming alliances, and they like compete in like games and challenges to see like who's the head of household, in charge that week. And they just vote each other out and nominate people, and like it's greasy. It's good. It's good. As far as reality TV goes, I don't really watch too much more besides that, especially nowadays. But that it's been going for like what, over 25 seasons.
I think this is 26.
This is 26. Yeah, so I mean, it's been going for a long time. I don't know. Logan and Weston got me into it, and it's been good to watch every summer since. So
it's good.
Fun
one of
stuff.
The memorable times from like one of the recent seasons was when Josh, that fucking tall Mexican dude.
Yeah.
He got the pots and pans. It was just like going around the house running to like, dude, he was giving, I think it was Cody. He was giving him hell.
And they have like no access to the outside world. It's just them in there. No phones, computers, social media, nothing like that. So, I mean, you can start to tell after a while, like a lot of them will start to go crazy, and like,
you can see their mood and psychology change after like the first day. Like day to day within the first week, and then like every week after that, you can kind of
couple months after they've been in there. No, it's just a big social experiment, really, is what it is. And people from the outside world, just the general population, we can watch and tune in. You can pay like a monthly subscription, like a fee or whatever, and you can like
24/7.
Yeah, they have like live feed cams 24/7, or what is it? CBS just CBS.
Full
right?
access or some shit like
Is
that.
it CBS? Yeah, CBS.
Probably. I think
Yeah.
so.
Whatever the channel is that does it. But yeah, they just do like 3 episodes a week, just kind of sum it up with their edits and how they want to characterize everything. And yeah, no, that's pretty good. It's fun to watch and keep up with.
They have it down to a good thing too. Like Ty said, they have 3 episodes a week, so they'll do. Excuse me, I believe like Thursdays. I believe it's Thursdays. Yeah, they'll do the most important competition, which is like HOH, and that is like basically the big dog for the week who gets to nominate 2 people to get kicked out. So they Thursday night, like Thursday's kind of like split, but Thursday night after they do the eviction, they'll have the HOH, and then sometime between then and Wednesday, he'll nominate 2 people for eviction, and then Wednesday, those 2 people, along with 4 others that are selected by random draw, or 3 others selected by random draw, and the 2 nominees and the HOH participate in what's called a veto competition. And then the winner of that can rescue one of the nominees. At that point, the HOH can replace one of them.
It's real interesting.
And then that's Wednesday. That all happens Wednesday, and then Thursday they have eviction, and then right after eviction they have a head of household for the next week, the competition again. And the thing that gets entertaining with like the veto is the HOH, who's like already safe from nomination, and the one evicting or nominating the 2 nominees can also win the veto, which gives them like a lot of power.
Ultimate power, yeah.
Or like one of their alliance members or enemies can win it. So it gets real interesting with all the moving parts and stuff a lot of times. So
it's cool too, because if you read into like a little bit of behind the scenes for the show, I think this says that like the house guests get paid like like at least $1,000 a week just for being in there. Yeah. And then they also have like little like side things where like America votes and you can pick like your favorite player, and at the end of the season they'll give them $50,000 or whatever. So yeah, no, it's pretty cool.
And there's usually 1 or 2 competitions where they'll have one or 2 prizes. It's like a cash prize.
Yeah, cash prize. They'll give away like vacations, cool stuff like that.
There's always one competition where it'll be different competition, but like they'll have you get eliminated 1 by 1, and when you get eliminated, you pick one of the 6 prizes, and then the next person that's getting eliminated can pick a prize or steal your prize.
You can trade it away.
And so it gets into this thing where, of course, everyone wants the veto, but sometimes if you get eliminated before number 1 or 2 or what have you, if you pick the veto, the first person is going to steal it from you because they want it. So if there's cash prizes or vacations, they'll be like, okay, I know I'm not going to get the veto. I'm just going to steal this cash prize from someone that already... It gets real quick. And sometimes some of the prizes are like punishments.
Yeah.
So there's been several times where like someone will have a cash prize or a vacation, and then someone else will get out of the game, and they'll be like, well, I'm not getting stuck with this punishment. You get the punishment. I'm taking the cash. And it's resulted in some like good drama, greasy, good shit that I need.
Oh, yeah.
So someone will walk away with like thousands of dollars or like a vacation to the Bahamas, and then the person that thought they were going to have that has to wear like a fucking banana outfit for the week, and they get burnt. It's good.
Yeah, no, it's good because there's so much strategy that goes into it. Like, like Logan was saying, if you are safe that week, or like nobody that you're cool with, like your friends or alliance or whatever, are in danger, then you can just be like, yeah, I'll just pocket the extra 5,000-10,000, whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
cool.
it gets the strategy gets pretty good. I'm sure a lot of it's like scripted, but
for sure
it's still entertaining.
It's cool too because they'll have people on that are like super fans of Big Brother, then they'll have people that are like not really familiar with the show at all. Yeah, so it's really random as far as people go for the most part.
Now recently they've done it a few times where they brought back like people that have played before. Do you like that, or
it's okay to throw it in there every once in a while? Not every season. I don't like to see it every season.
I don't like it because it doesn't give the new people a fair chance.
Yeah,
like especially when they brought back Paul. The season that Josh and him went to the end, like he had already played before, and he was like really good. And then they brought him back I think it was the very next season, and it was like, whoa, Dad, he was already like an all-star his first go around, and they brought him right back with a bunch of brand new people, and you could definitely tell that season was like real weird.
Yeah,
dude. It was weird.
It was kind of cool.
They were all Paul's puppets.
Yeah,
no lie. Dude.
Last season, how they did it with the they had Charisse in there from Survivor. But they didn't tell her. They didn't tell everybody.
Well, they didn't tell everybody that her son was one of the people.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Which that was good because she was not a Big Brother player. So like Survivor players, they never do as well in Big Brother as in Survivor because it's like it's different. So I don't have a problem with that near as much. That one was cool. That one, she didn't have like an unfair advantage. I didn't feel like.
Yeah.
But a Big Brother player, when they're a good Big Brother player and they come back, they definitely have an advantage.
Yeah, they've been there before.
Big time. If they don't get out within the first like 2 or 3 weeks, dude, they're guaranteed to get to like the final 3 or 4.
Major threat off the bat, yeah.
Because that means they don't have enough people against them to get them out. If they don't have enough people to get them out in the first 3 weeks, dangerous.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I've seen it a couple times with Dan, Paul. Dude, did you see the season with Dan in 14?
I don't know if I saw that one.
That's when he was the second time around.
Okay.
Oh, but
He's wreck shop.
Oh, dude. Yeah, that was a really good season. So yeah, I'm eager. That starts in about a month. So I'm eager to see that. And then what else? Anything else you want to talk about?
Just speaking of summer, I mean, yeah, definitely gonna be a warm one here in Texas.
Yeah, it's already feeling like summer now.
Oh yeah, it's about that time to hang out, by the pool, river, chilling. Shit, I mean, might have to take a trip at a Schlitterbahn.
I feel like
have some fun.
Over the past like 5 and 10 years, there's less and less like river access. They've like closed down more spots, and like roadways have kind of made less spots accessible. Yeah. And like I feel like right after that happened, there was like a lot more crowdage at the river. But I feel like the last like 2 or 3 years, I feel like maybe it was with COVID that like less and less people get out in general.
Yeah.
So, like the places are still like popping with people.
Yeah.
But they're not like overcrowded like they were getting around like 2016, 17, 18.
Yeah.
Because there was a few river spots that had closed, and then like everybody just wanted to be at that fucking water with like all the fun was, and like it's cool in the summer.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And like, but now I feel like I don't know if it's gonna be. This might be the summer where everyone comes back out, or if maybe just more people stay inside in general. But we'll. Did you notice that?
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, it did seem like after COVID, not as many. I mean, like you said, it's still popping, but I mean, dude, I've seen it where it's just absolutely
you can't even move.
Insane. Oh, yeah.
That was like the late teens.
Same thing.
2000 teens.
I mean, man, even the past few years though, like all the pools at some of the nice apartment complexes in San Marcos, those get pretty crazy too.
Do they?
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun stuff. Yeah. For like holidays like 4th of July, Memorial Day, just stuff like that. Summertime shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do most kids go home for summer or not?
A lot of them do. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of them do. But there's still a fair amount to stay also.
Yeah, it's crazy how that affects traffic even in Austin. Like,
oh
the
man,
college,
yeah.
and like I guess
for
normal
sure.
kids not being in school.
Even in San Marcos, there's a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like especially during like middle of the semester when everyone's here. But
yeah. Well, anything else you were thinking of?
Man, I made a pretty good lasagna this past week.
Dang,
yeah,
that William Montgomery.
Yeah, I made a pretty good lasagna. Went to HEB, got all the stuff, went home, made it. Yeah, no, it was good.
This is kind of a little side note. I saw that like probably about a month ago or so, Adam 22 like basically shut down. I think most of its shows. He might have 1 or 2 still going, but then I also saw right after that and he always had like a lot of drama, so that doesn't surprise me. But like I also saw that he started doing freestyles at No Jumper with like just whatever artists. But like a lot of them were like kind of like lesser known artists, and I guess that's not surprising because like it seems like the top artists don't really do freestyles like at platforms anymore like that.
Yeah,
but I saw a couple of them and they were okay. Like he had Peso and it had like 10,000 views and it was like several days old, and I was just thinking like, I don't know. I was like, it's good. I like to see it, but I'm just thinking like, you have to really come with it now in a freestyle. That's why most artists, I guess, don't do it.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
There's some good freestyles out there, so I mean.
But you really got to like, I feel like it has to be done right for that to like be a prominent thing on your platform. And I guess what I'm trying to say about Adams is like, it's okay, but I feel like it's not going to like move the needle for him. Really.
Right. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
He either needs bigger artists, or if they come, they need to come like, I feel like they're just coming up there and they feel like I'm at No Jumper, I'm getting the look, I'm just here. Like they need to come like, back in the day, people thought like, okay, this opportunity, I'm going to make the most of it. Now they're like, okay, they want me, and I'm the fact that I'm even, my face is already on No Jumper. Like
they're entitled.
I've already accomplished it.
Yeah.
I'm already checking off the box, but it's like, back in the day, they would make the most of it, but now they think like
they feel like they don't have to try.
Yeah, Maybe not, but I just feel like I don't know. It's not popping. It's not gonna move the needle for him.
Yeah.
But there are other platforms where I feel like LA Leakers. They usually have some good freestyles.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Sway.
Sway, he didn't really do it anymore.
No, but back in the day, I mean, he had some good ones.
But not that many people really do freestyles
No,
anymore.
you're right. No, just in general.
So I feel like that is a niche that needed to be filled. So that was like, of course, Adam's not a dummy, but like, good look out to him. But like, I feel like he either needs to get bigger artists or like people that actually are more hungry when they come up there.
Yeah.
But it's hard for him to tell him like, all right, this is like, what are you gonna like talk down to him and tell him to like be hungry? But like, I don't know. This is one of those things. Maybe he needs to go for artists that are a little even lesser known.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
That are
That'd
hungry.
be a good idea too.
Don't go for the middle ones like Peso, who's already like financially set but not like blown up. But like he's in this weird zone where like he doesn't have to try too hard.
There are certain
If he
rappers
doesn't
who are
want
good
to.
at freestyles and some who aren't too.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
I feel like he could definitely get it done. He just wasn't really trying that hard.
Peso.
Yeah.
I've seen
Oh,
I've seen
no.
some good
We know
freestyles
how-
from him. Yeah. No, he's good. But I mean,
Yeah, we've said that about his songs too. Some songs hit, and some songs he's just like getting by.
with him you
He's
can
definitely talented.
right. No, you can tell like it's obvious when he tries and when he doesn't. To me,
Yeah,
you know, I don't know.
he's
I've
definitely talented.
I've heard some really good stuff where I'm like, damn, okay, like he killed this. And I've heard somewhere I'm like, he's just kind of getting by, you know.
Yeah.
Sauce Walker, man,
What-
he stays pretty consistent.
Why haven't Sauce Walk and OT collaborated? And furthermore, why haven't Peso and OT collab?
I think they have
They have?
Yeah.
Okay.
for sure. Peso and OT have collabed.
Okay.
Yeah. It kind of seems to me. I was actually just thinking about asking you this. It seemed to me like Mexican OT was kind of like a fad.
He blew his load.
Yeah.
It's because his
Like, he
style,
just
he,
came-
only had that one style. It was
Yeah.
it was too iconic. It's like
I know what you mean.
it's almost like when a rapper when an actor like Joffrey, example, because I'm rewatching Game of Thrones and I'm watching all these YouTube clips are coming up. When that actor got that role, he was so identified in that role, it was hard for him to get other work.
Yeah.
Another one I've seen recently that said that George Costanza on Seinfeld.
Ah.
So identified in that role, it was hard for him to
Right.
get other work.
Right. I see.
Mexican OT was like so locked into that style,
So he's kind of like limited to.
and it like burned out
Yeah.
too. It's
Oh,
like,
real quick. Yeah.
that might not be the same with those other examples, but like with that, it like burned out with people because that's all. Oh, not all he had, but the main thing he had.
Yeah. Huh.
So I don't know. And you can oversaturate the market, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
He put out a lot of stuff.
Have you watched any Kill Tony lately?
I haven't. I saw Kill Tony was on the Tom Brady roast though.
Yeah.
And, like,
it was
everyone
pretty
just-
good.
I could tell he was in his zone and he was feeling himself, and everyone was loving him. But it wasn't like the best stuff I've ever heard.
I think he was the best out of everyone there who was roasted.
Well, yeah, that's.
But I mean, that's
big
not saying
accomplishment.
much.
Everyone there
right.
sucked dick. You know who Kill Tony? Who I like better than Kill Tony, and who Kill Tony kind of wants to be.
Who?
I'm not saying that he wants to be, but he wants his comedy style to be this good. So I don't want to like throw shade at Tony. I'm not trying to like fuck him
Yeah.
over. In my opinion, if his comedy style was this good, he would love it. Tim Dillon. That's who is the good, like, dude, when he roasts something, it's like his loose flow roast to me is like better.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
It's more like better.
I can see what you're saying.
Tony's like a little more uptight and like his jokes, like I just feel like Tim Dillon has better things that make me. He like has better examples that I like when he's making
Okay.
jokes. And like Tony, I could tell he was good on the Tom Brady roast, but like I feel like Tim Dillon's better.
This past week's episode that released where they had the Rick Diaz versus Hans Kim part 2 at the Kia
They
Forum.
finally released it.
Yeah, they finally released it.
Now
Yeah.
that no one gives a fuck anymore.
In LA, yeah.
How was it?
It was okay. It was all right. What was I gonna say though? Oh, Tim Dillon was actually on that one.
I love Tim Dillon.
He was a guest on the panel.
He's
yeah,
a big dog.
it was pretty good. It was him and Post Malone.
You think Tim Dillon and Tony are fucking each other?
Oh man, I don't even want to think about it. They're
Tim
both a little
Dillon's
weird.
definitely gay.
Yeah, he's,
He doesn't hide it.
he's like out of the closet. Yeah,
Yeah.
Tony might be.
Which I
Tony's in
kinda
the closet.
respect. Because like I watched Tim Dillon for like a good year, and I guess I'm kind of stupid because like there's probably signs, but like I didn't know he was gay for like the first year or so that I watched him,
Mhm.
which I respect because he didn't like make it about that.
Right. Sure.
He's just like a fat guy. Like he's like a fat, like I'm sure he would even appreciate this on some level. He was like a fat loser that like went through a lot of hell. Like he was on drugs. And,
Mhm.
like he saw a lot of other people that were like losers throughout his life and like
Yeah.
haters and stuff. And he just went through life as a fat fat person.
Yeah, it's just a fat dude.
Just the fat average dude.
Yeah.
And then like he finally made it on some level, but he has a lot of good like experiences of being a fat average American.
And
Fat average
you can
New
tell.
Yorker. Yeah, and you can tell, and it's good, and it rubs off with his takes. Like he had a good take on like Cracker Barrel's going down.
I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah, I like that. He had a little rant about it. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. But yeah, I fuck with Tim Dillon. I fuck with Tony too.
Tony Hinchcliffe, man, he's good.
He's good.
He's good.
I like his little quips on his show a lot.
He understands the art form of comedy. I mean, just more than most people, more than almost anybody.
Yeah.
When me and TJ went to go see him and all the Kill Tony All Stars in San Antonio, like last year, dude, it was just he did probably like a 45 minute set on stage. Tony did just actual stand up comedy, and that was my first time actually really seeing him in that element of his.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, he's a master of the craft. It's just there's not really, you can tell by like his timing, the punchlines, just like
he's
relevant.
Like a meaner Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, yeah, he kind of is. Yeah, like a modern
like
day
that level, but like meaner and like respectfully, like it's good.
Yeah, for sure.
I enjoy him. Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, is there? I recently did a video on like a bunch of series I'm gonna start watching. Are there any? I think I've asked you this before, but like, are there any series that you've watched recently or that you enjoy or that you fuck with? Or I know Breaking Bad was the one you mentioned.
Yeah, Breaking Bad's my favorite one. Man, I like Yellowstone. I'm always gonna like The Office. So I heard this fall they're coming out with like an Office like revamp kind of thing. Yeah, so we'll see. I don't know. Maybe with like Jim as the head of The Office or something like that. I don't know. I think like I saw that Michael Scott's like not gonna be like a main character, but he's gonna be like in there a few times. So we'll see. I don't know.
I don't know. They should have just let it live. I don't think I ever watched it all the way through.
Really?
No.
I watched it like 5 times all the way through. It's great.
I've seen, because I used to always just catch it on TBS whenever, but I think I've seen it all the way, like every episode through to like a certain point, but like once it gets to the point where like they start bringing in different bosses.
Yeah,
like,
you can't really take
Will
that.
Ferrell, and they have the other dude,
I
and they have
get
the
it.
other dude, and then it goes on for a little bit after that even.
Yeah.
And like they have several weddings with different people.
Yeah.
And I kind of fell out through all that, and like I would like to watch it, I just never did. But it was a damn good show.
It's you know how people would say like, oh, like I think that's my comfort show.
Yeah.
Or you just throw it on, you just background noise or whatever, just to wind down at the end of the day or whatever it is. Yeah, that would be that show for me.
Really, The Office.
Yeah, and then also I heard this fall they're gonna come out with like a Breaking Bad movie, like a Walter White Breaking Bad.
I think I heard
kinda,
that, but how are they gonna do that now that I don't know?
Maybe he didn't die. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Huh.
Yeah, but now it's gonna be good. But no, as far as I haven't watched any like really
You should check out the
series
Acolyte.
lately. There's one. Okay, there's one that I tried. Do you remember the game on PlayStation growing up? I don't know if you ever were familiar with it, called Twisted Metal.
Yes.
Okay, so I played the fuck out of that game growing up on
good.
PlayStation 1. It was very fun. It was basically just like a bunch of fucking swooped up killer vehicles that you just attack each other, right?
And like bumper cars, but you don't just shoot at each other.
Right, yeah.
So
So
it was badass.
I saw that they came out with like a series about Twisted Metal, like based off the game.
I think I saw that.
But like a series, and so I checked it out. The first episode was like okay. It was like it was pretty cheesy, kind of like like modern times, a little woke stuff, but it was all right. And then I kept watching it. Like the second episode, it just got like really weird.
Really, you can.
There was like some killer clown dude that was like one of the classic characters in like some box van thing or whatever, and like him and the main character, like he was like about to kill the main character, then they just like got cool, and it was like really weird. And like I said, it was just a little too cheesy, but I tried it. That was like the first show or series that I like actually tried to watch in a while, but I gave it a chance, and it had potential. I was like, okay, I could see how this could be cool.
Yeah.
But like I said, it was just a little too much for me, like as far as like the cheesy and corny and woke modern stuff. So I just couldn't really take it.
Yeah.
Aside from that, no, not really. I mean, you and everyone else that I've ever talked to keep telling me to watch Game of Thrones. I need to watch that. I'm a little behind, obviously.
Yeah, you
I know
need
it's
to watch
old. That and The Walking Dead too.
Yeah.
I've watched a decent amount. He just chunks here and there with you and Weston and stuff like that. But that's something else I need to actually sit down and watch all the way through.
Yeah, I would. If I was you, I would hop in on the Dead City show with Negan and Maggie.
Okay.
Like, honestly, because like when they start the show, there's been like some time between the like regular show. I guess not too much, but like basically you don't need to know what the fuck's going on, honestly.
Right, you can just jump in at any time and
I
kind of
would. It's
and just
if
get
you need
it.
some
Yeah.
content, but I would check out
Okay.
the Acolyte. That's the new Jedi show, and I'm kind of disappointed. The last Mandalorian, like the way they're gonna end it, is gonna be with a movie.
Ah,
Like
yeah.
I needed a last season.
it better be a damn good movie if they're gonna do it like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shit.
And then I feel like they don't. I hope they like these Star Wars series. I feel like they start off good, but then they don't really have a good way to end them. Like I'm okay with them ending in some way, but like draft out the whole story from start to end, and it can even have changes. But like have some closure in mind when you start it. I feel like they don't really have that
I
sometimes.
see what you're saying.
So they just are going, and then it's somebody they don't know how to end
Yeah.
it, and then it just like leaves us a little disappointed.
Because
But-
you can start it any way you want, and that leaves it open to like pretty much any creativity.
Yeah.
But like I was just saying, like if you have to know how to end it, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're gonna go your own way and
I feel like
twist
they're
it all
nervous about
kinds
that
of
with this one too, because it's so close to the other series. Like they have to. There's other
Huh.
things that play off of it.
right.
Whereas that's the good thing about this other show. It's 100 years before the Phantom Menace.
Well, and
So
I was just gonna say too, like that's
they're
part of
more free.
what they have to consider too is all the timelines and
Well, this show they're more free because it doesn't necessarily like
sure.
directly impact it. There's
Right.
a couple generations.
Right. Yeah.
So-
They can pick like a pinpoint a spot in like a timeline and just kind of base it off of new or old Star Wars. What's happened yet, what hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Pretty much ever since Disney's taken over though, man.
It's not been the same.
Definitely not been the same.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian series were pretty good, but man, what was that one movie too? The like little side movie they did. Was it Rogue One?
Rogue One. They've
That
done
was
one or
alright.
two.
It was
I
alright.
didn't watch it.
It was okay.
They did Solo, and
I actually haven't seen Solo.
they did like one other one. I think
I'm ashamed
too.
to admit it. Yeah, they've done like at least one other one. Didn't they do like a Jango Fett or Boba Fett or something?
They
Or
did a
was that-
Boba Fett series. That was good.
Yeah, that was
It
pretty
kind of
good.
tied into the Mandalorian pretty
Yeah.
heavily though, which
That's what you were saying.
was
Is
a
that
good plus and minus.
it was almost
It was
like a side
Mandalorian,
bonus Mandalorian
yeah,
season.
which was
yeah.
good. I didn't hate on that.
Yeah.
Um,
You've also talked too recently about that Pokemon game.
fuck with PokeRogue, yeah.
Okay, PokeRogue. Nice.
Yeah. I wish they would almost add maybe like do kind of like Call of Duty did and do seasons. Like, okay, this is we've had classic mode this way for a while, but we're gonna like it does have some variants, but maybe change the variants a little bit, and then at least change the final boss. In season 2, like make like a season 2 and then change the final boss, because the final boss is like so powerful. He forces you to build your team in a certain way.
Yeah.
So I just feel like maybe changing that one thing could really just like. But other than that, it's a really dope game. It's fucking free.
Other than that, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. I like the way that you start off with like you can choose any of the 3 starters from any generation, and like any combination of them, and then after that, it starts. It's all about like it's a battle tower like battle run. So you go on it's just like battle after battle after battle, and it's real like challenging. And then if you lose, you just start all the way.
Huh?
over.
Yeah.
So it's but along these runs, if you catch Pokemon, the next time you start a run, that's available as one of the ones you can start with. And like
That's
some
nice.
Pokemon are worth more. Like you have a total of 10 points you can use. Some Pokemon are worth more points than
Right.
others. And then like when you catch a Pokemon, you usually get 1 candy for it. And then like battling with a Pokemon over and over gets you candies too. And then like you can use these said candies to lower their starting cost
Yeah. Okay.
or to unlock their passive ability. So it has little things like that.
Certain little incentives to make you want to use them and catch them more and all
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And then another thing is like if you beat a gym leader, you get like when you beat like significant people like Elite Four members or gym leaders or beat the final boss, you get egg vouchers, and you use those and you get eggs, and then like that's like a really good chance to like get stuff you wouldn't normally
Okay.
catch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I
like
see.
a lot of times they have egg moves which are like really fucking
Oh,
good.
do they? Yeah.
So it has like just enough like little interesting things, and then like the battles there's no story or walking around, it's just battle, and that's kind of, and you only get healed every 10 rounds.
Damn.
So but after every round, it'll pop up with like three random items.
Okay.
So you can heal from that sometimes, and then there's like an item shop at the top after every round.
You can
so
buy
you can
shit.
heal like after every round, but only if you have money. So
Right.
there's some strategy. to it.
Okay,
It's-
definitely,
It's got
yeah.
like a lot of little. It's like enough of old Pokemon, but with like a little new spin
New
to like
twist,
really
yeah.
keep you into it. But it's pretty fun.
It makes you like really like learn everything and strategize about how you want to spend certain things, huh?
Yeah, monies and like sometimes you're like I did everything I could. I just didn't have enough money or like my start or like whatever. But like because sometimes it's random, you know, like what Pokemon you're gonna see and like
Right.
your rival even has random different Pokemon every time.
Okay.
So you
Is
just never know.
Isn't it crazy how much the Pokemon trading card game as a like collector's market has gone?
Has it?
Oh man.
Yeah. It's crazy too that like we can talk about that right after, but like it's crazy that games that I never thought the Pokemon games when they came out, like basically this game that's a fan made free game
Yeah.
years later and like it has all the Pokemon, but it's basically Gen 3 mechanics.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
like a game that was made 20 years ago. It's still relevant, people still love it, and it's free. It's just
Oh,
like crazy.
yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy how like the trading cards are kind of like it's almost like a thing like nobody plays Pokemon the trading card game, but everyone
Right.
just like wants them because they're like cool to have.
Yeah,
it's weird.
It's a collector's item, you know, now, and it has its own market for it. Just like with anything, you know, any kind of sports cards, basketball, football, baseball. I mean, you know, there's always been a market for those things.
So
but-
what's the see? And with that said, like, what's the most iconic Pokemon generation do you want?
Yeah, one or two. One. Obviously
yeah.
one. Yeah, I started really playing like heavily around like Generation 2.
Okay.
But you know, with that, obviously, I learned Gen 1 pretty quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Gen 3. Gen 3 might be my favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people. Yeah.
I like Gen 3 the most. Dude, I mean, there's so many cool Pokemon to come out. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Rayquaza, Groudon, Kyogre, or how, you know, there's different ways to say the pronunciation or whatever. But
Yeah.
I mean, dude, Mudkip, Blaziken. I mean, dude, Sceptile. There were so many cool Pokemon in Gen 3. And just, you know, the games were fucking badass.
Yeah.
Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That was like, I don't want to say prime Pokemon to me, but man. I mean, the games were popping, the toys, the figures, the cards probably.
The
I
thing that was
mean,
missing is like the physical special split, and I think that came in the next generation,
Mhm.
I believe. But
yeah.
because like all water moves were
We're special.
special.
Yeah.
But that was like the only thing it didn't have because everything else like was crazy upgrade. Yeah, and Rayquaza is like one of the most iconic Pokemon
Oh, dude.
since probably Gen 1, and like that in the PokeRogue game, that's like I think there's 2 different battles where your rival has a Rayquaza on its team,
Okay. Yeah.
and like a Mega Rayquaza.
It's tough to
at one
deal
time.
with.
It's like,
Yeah.
well, so yeah,
Uh,
it's a fun game.
Probably like, maybe like almost a year ago. A little less than a year ago. I was at like Marshall's or Ross or something like that. And I saw like they have like a little toy bin. And I saw like a Rayquaza and it was like, I don't know, like $12, $13 probably, something like that. Like just, you know, cool little display piece in the box. And I had to grab that. It's a pretty decent size too. I'm sure if you like took them out of the box and like unravel them, it'd probably be several feet. It's pretty cool though.
There was a lot of summers I spent on Mockingbird Lane playing fucking Pokemon, fucking Ruby and Emerald.
Mockingbird Lane for you too?
Yeah.
Dude, I was over at Adam's house and I was gonna say doing the same shit over on
Really?
Mockingbird Lane, yeah, by the Blue Bonnet Elementary School.
Oh,
and-
but I was there
dude.
when it was getting built.
Oh, okay,
that
yeah,
summer, yeah.
yeah, nice,
I was horny.
dude. Oh
Just
man,
playing all day and then you see like a little fat rat.
yeah, and you know go save the game right before you know face the big Pokemon like Rayquaza or whatever, and you just do it until you catch him.
I wish there would have been like better post game on those games. 'Cause I spent a lot of time just like doing nothing on those games.
Right, and then pretty much like once you beat the game and then go catch those fools. I mean, you know, there's a little bit to do, but not much.
Not much.
Just complete the Pokédex, do like final,
The Battle Tower's okay, but it's not what it could be. I heard in like one of the most recent Pokemon games, they have like a huge post game, like a really crazy battle.
What
tower.
game was it, man? That's I grinded hard on that shit too, though.
I think it was one of the 2 latest ones. I think
Okay.
I saw somebody talking about it. A Pokemon ROM hack that I played called Glazed had a pretty decent post game where like you could, I think they had a battle tower you could like earn points and like get master balls, which was cool, and like they had like an extensive TM shop, just stuff that like normal Pokemon games didn't have. That just like
Right.
what is it called, like forget the term I'm looking for, but just like things you would always want that they just give you like little, I don't know what I'm looking for, but just things you would want like Master Ball, buy extra TMs are really dope. They
Yeah.
had like a battle tower, and it was like pretty hard and pretty fun though. And then like they had really good items, leftovers,
Yeah.
stuff that you like lucky eggs, stuff that you only get one if if not none in a regular game,
Yeah.
you'd have chance to get. And there it was pretty dope.
And there's certain teams where you can only get like there at the end of the game through them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's something the regular Pokemon games could have kind of slept on. That they could have just, if you had added a decent battle tower, to where you can get extra good items, good TMs, even if it's hard as fuck to get them. That way, when you go to catch the legendaries, you have that Master Ball. Or when you go to battle your friends, oh, I have leftovers on all my Pokemon because I'm a
Right.
whore, because I've been grinding the battle tower like that.
Yeah.
Shit like that would just really make it cool.
There's
Or
always ways though
Shiny
nowadays.
Charm. That way,
Yeah.
I grinded on the battle tower for like all week. Finally got that Shiny Charm. Now when I go try to catch new Pokemon, they'll be higher likelihood of shiny. Just like little things that they could have. What are things that they fan service? Little.
Yeah.
There's another word I'm looking for. Like, there's a term I'm looking for of what these things are called. Just like not ease of access, but like
Almost
I
like
don't know.
incentives, right?
It's just little extra incentives or little like, damn, that's killing me. I can't think of the term I'm looking for. But there's all these little things that would have made the Pokemon games just so much more enjoyable.
Like
especially
rewards.
in the
Yeah.
post game that they would have not killed them to do.
Yeah.
But I think it would have kept people from playing these fan games a lot more, potentially. You know what
I
I
see
mean?
what you're saying. Yeah. I haven't really kept up with it too, obviously, but I mean, I don't know. If
Yeah, I
they've-
don't know. I'm not into it as much. I haven't played. That's what I was gonna say. I played Generation 1, 2, 3. I played 4 like a decent amount, but then after that I kind of quit.
That's about where I was at too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and then now I got back into this, so it's causing me to like learn about a lot of new pokes. But I played Sword and Shield, but not much at all, hardly.
I played a little bit of that. Yeah.
I like barely beat it. I mean, I beat it, and then that was it. Like,
Black and White. I played that.
oh really? I didn't play that.
Sun and Moon. Played that.
Yeah, one of the recent starters that I had no idea about that's pretty good is Fuecoco.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty dope.
Nice.
Yeah, Torch Song is OP, dude.
Really?
Yeah, it's basically a flamethrower, but it only does 80 instead of 90, and it upgrades the special attack every time you use it.
Oh wow. That's not
That's
fair.
off the
That's not
head.
fair. Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty dope. But what else? What else? I don't know. Anything else you can think of?
Mm,
Hmm. Do you have any opinions about like the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson thing? They
no.
got pushed back.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like me and Josh talked a bit about it. An angle, not necessarily about that fight in itself, but just sports in general is like, it says something that, like, this is this is the biggest boxing thing of the year, really, hype wise.
Yeah.
And it's even overshadowing, I think, because Dana White said it's like ridiculous that it's even happening, and it's like overshadowing some of his stuff even.
Yeah.
So it's like, what does this say about where we are with like professional sports, where like this is the biggest thing in contact sport, well, in fighting sports and in boxing, and like this is the height of boxing right now, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
What does that say about boxing?
Boxing as a whole.
It's not where it once was.
Yeah. No shit.
MMA has almost taken over as like the primary thing in that area.
Oh, for sure.
But I feel like we don't have those big signature fights from it as much. Or maybe I'm just, when McGregor was in, he was like a big personality, so he had
Yeah.
real big fights. But since then, there have been big fights, but I'm not super tuned in. So to an outsider, there haven't been those huge fights that draw outsiders.
I see what you're saying.
There have been really good fights. I know that because I've been in touch a little bit. But
I would call myself a casual fan. I mean,
yeah, so
you know, I mean, there's even since McGregor. I mean, there's been like the fighter Israel Adesanya.
yes.
So he's kind of not, I don't want to say come and gone, but like he's a little past his prime or whatever. And then there's Sugar Sean O'Malley. He's
I've seen
really
him.
good. Yeah. So I mean, there's good fighters here and there. There's
I feel like they were both on the come up when McGregor was around, and now they're kind of a little old, both
yeah,
of those guys.
yeah,
But I'm familiar with both of those.
yeah.
And they've had some big fights. That Israel Adesanya, or however you say it, he's had a couple big fights within the past like year.
Hmm.
But yeah,
There's a lot of fucking crazy fighters from like Russia and shit like that over there in Europe.
It's yeah, it's weird. It's like Jake Paul's the only. It's like no one really gets our attention anymore to make the fights big, I guess. I don't know.
And like you said, yeah, it takes someone like Jake Paul to, make a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know. And then his opponent's like Mike Tyson, so it's just like kind of a spectacle.
An old Mike Tyson, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's almost like we're at a point where we need some new form of entertainment because the old stuff is not cutting it anymore for us.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
nothing's grasping our attention anymore. Josh said something to that effect the other day. We were talking about movies and series, and I was just arguing that like series are way better.
Yeah.
In a number of ways, but like maybe that's just true overall. We're not as like entertained by things overall.
Our attention span's shorter.
I don't even know if it's that. It's just like if once our attention is grasped, it might still be there, but I think things aren't really even grasping our attention anymore. You know?
Yeah. That's what you're saying.
But it could be in like that same kind of vein of the same type of thing, but yeah, I don't know.
What's that, if you look back at history, I guess they say that like, in the civilizations like before the fall, they try to keep everyone, like distracted, kind of,
Yeah.
just mindlessly entertained.
Yeah. That's kind of where we're at.
That seems like it's where we're at.
Yeah. That's how it was in Rome. They had the Colosseum.
I was just going to say the Colosseums. I mean, you look nowadays, it's not too much different.
Yeah.
No. And they're nice, badass state-of-the-art stadiums and shit like that. I've been to several of them, but,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I mean, it's entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all entertainment. Well, I think that's probably about the episode for today. I think soon I'm gonna start trying to get some more guests on. Probably, hopefully, maybe 2 within the next month is my goal, maybe. So be looking forward to that. Like I said, I'm gonna be covering those shows. The Big Brother live streams. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And I know I've talked about it a lot for anyone who's really been watching the end of all my stuff, but I'm trying to get the buzz around, like, and kind of just remind people, I guess, and get them ready for the call-in shows. That way, I can have 2 or 3 people lined up and ready to go, because I think that would really be fun to get a lot of different people.
Were you aiming like Friday nights for those?
Yeah. Do you think there'd be a better time?
Not necessarily, no.
Yeah. So I feel like once one happens, it'll be easy to get them going, because then everyone that would want to call in will see it and be like, okay, it's real, it happened, it's easy,
Right.
and then everyone it'll kind of snowball from there. So I kind of want to get the first one down and go from there.
Yeah, just talk to you, coordinate it,
Yeah.
find a time, call in, get a topic, and
That's how I've been having Josh on there was through phone. So
yeah.
I want to play with that soon. There's other stuff coming up, and I need to start thinking about studio improvements and stuff. But I mean, so far I got it to a certain point that I like, so maybe just keep on with the guest, and then kind of, I don't know. It's interesting. I've had a hard time finding and sourcing topics. But speaking of that, kind of speaking to the point of like nothing really grasps our attention anymore.
Yeah.
I've had a hard time figuring about like, what am I going to talk about that I even care about, that other people are also going to care about, that's not just like a news headline.
Right.
I mean, you got to have your perspective on it, obviously, which a lot of times I do. Sometimes I feel like I don't, though, but I'm just figuring out, like, what are people really going to even give a fuck about?
Right, like you don't just want this to be like another version of the news.
Yeah, like, oh, here's this. Oh, here's this. Here's this.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously. But I don't know if, I just need to find stuff that we give a damn about, but it's a fucking recession. They're jamming the same shit down our throat. There's really not a lot. That's why everyone was so fucking hard for the Cat Williams thing, because there's nothing going on.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't take fucking much.
You're not lying.
So
the smallest little thing nowadays will just get everyone, going for a little while.
we said,
myself included. I mean, shit, I don't, I'm no better than anybody
else.
else.
And it was fresh, and it was like, it was loud, and it was people just like, but I just
something to talk about, gossip.
I said at the time, are people gonna care about this in 6 months or a year? I don't think anyone gives a fuck about it anymore. but could
Fair.
be wrong. So it's the Terrence Howard thing too. That happened, and I heard about it like a week after it happened, and then I was contemplating there for a week. Should I make a fucking video about it? Should I spend the time of watching the whole episode and then doing a breakdown? And I still could, and I still might, but I just feel like it's something I can just say real quick right now. Like, he was just pulling a Cap Williams 2.0, just like saying a bunch of crazy shit and whispering while he was saying it, and it just sounded like a bunch of bullshit. So I don't know. But anyway, yeah, hopefully there's some more stuff to look forward to, new guests and new perspectives, and then some shows to tune into, and more of the same with the guests we've already had. So y'all tune in. I guess that's episode 22.
Heck yeah. Nah, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Oh yeah.
We'll be on plenty more.
Oh yeah, we'd be glad to have you back. So that's Ty episode or his return, and we'd be glad to have him back for more. And we'll see y'all soon. That's Where There's Smoke.
Sweet.
22.
Heck yeah.
Later.
Danny on the beat, boy.